Hello, hello everyone. Hello. Um, this is the voice of and this is the face of Oguyomi Ayomide, and I want to specially welcome everyone that is actually watching this to Gist with the Tech Bros. You know how we do it here at Tech with Hero. This is where we have lively conversations, and we've been doing this for the past few weeks, and I'm sure you have been enjoying yourself as much as we are. So today's conversation is on another level. It's something we've not dived into before, and we just want to gist with some tech bros that we have around. Just to see, just to learn from them. And get into their heads and sip some knowledge too. So that we as let me say we as beginners, so that we will not have beginners being left out. But this is actually a program for everyone, and I'm very sure you're going to learn from it. So yeah, I have with me special guests, special tech bros from all the way from if you know you know. So I have Karim, Rashid, and we'll also be having Wilson. I know you are familiar with Wilson because we had him in one of our previous segments, previous conversations. So today we'll be having both Karim, Rashid, and Wilson in our conversation today. And like I said, this is Tech with this is Gist with Tech Bros. So drum rolls as we get to see the faces of our guests. But we're having Rashid first. So let's see. Hello. Hi Rashid. Can you hear me? I can't see. Hi Rashid, can you hear me? And I can't see you. Can you hear me? And I can't see you.
Oh, hi.
Um,
Hi,
okay.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Uh, Pardon me. I was not expecting that I would be having to share my screen, so
No, but we
or
want to
rather that
see
I
your
would be
face.
having to turn
Is
on
it
my camera.
possible?
So I wasn't prepared for that. But yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just give like a minute,
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
if
okay,
that's
okay.
okay.
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. No problem. So, Wilson, let me just confirm if Wilson is also ready for us while we are waiting for. Ah, man
Hello.
is always ready. He's on. Now you call him good. He's
Oh,
always ready. Thank you
how's
so much
everything,
for
man?
joining this conversation. I know Mr. Rashid too is always ready for us, and we just need to give him a little bit of time, and we'll be
Yeah,
having him join us. Uh-uh.
yeah.
Mr. Wilson, how is it like? How is it going over there? How is your day like?
It's been good, busy but good. So
Awesome, awesome.
I've been looking forward to this, and yeah, let's get it on. Let's get it on.
Yeah, yeah. We had the conversation in our previous segment, and we are still having fantastic feedback
Thank
from that
you. Thank
conversation,
you.
and a lot of people are yet to recover from it. Thank you so much for those words, those powerful words. I know, and I'm very sure that today's conversation is going to be awesome too,
Yeah,
awesome too, awesome too. So basically, it's just us gisting,
yeah,
as tech bros, and you know how we do it the year right now. So, but
sure.
first, we just let me just get to know, like, how do you even get into tech? Like, to you, what's the story like for you?
Uh, it's quite it's not unique because a lot of us went through similar path. So I did chemical engineering in school,
So,
and
but before you go deep, can you just start with probably introducing yourself, then
yeah, yeah,
jump
yeah, yeah,
into,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's thanks for that. I'm
Yeah.
Wilson Ahamisi. I am an Android engineer. I've been an Android engineer for a couple of years now. Honestly, forgetting maybe seven, thereabout 6, 7 years now. I'm an Android engineer with Zalando, based in Berlin, Germany. And yeah, we I'm basically just here to chat, as you can see. So I love to have fun. Football, traveling, whatever I can do to meet people, make memories. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Danke, danke. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So now you can now go into how you got started with tech, and what does it feel like to be a tech bro?
For that, I think I I I I studied chemical engineering, like I said, and I think about that period, I dabbled into programming, just writing code for out of curiosity. Yeah,
Wow.
what is this doing? Probably 217, 216. I can't even remember the specific year. And yeah, about that period, I began to fall in love with there was this godlike feeling I had that
Mm.
I can write a given um I can write something and see the output instantly. You get, and yeah, that created more curiosity to me. You know that feeling when you write your first hello world, then you build your first calculator, then you now feel bring it on, I can take on the world. Yeah,
Yeah, like you're the next Mark
yeah. So I
on
think
on,
it
on
started
the next
like
Jeff
that.
Bezos.
Yeah, yeah, it started like that, and yeah, I just got more fulfillment in the control I had over my code
Mm.
and the output than my field of study. There were too many variables involved in, let's say, distillation of a crude oil from start to finish. I love, hey, in this niche, I'm God over my code. So And yeah, since then it's been ups and downs, fun. Yeah.
But at that period, was it like a self-taught kind of thing, or did you get to use a material like I mean YouTube or whatever, or how was it like? You had a
Yeah,
mentor to take
it,
you through.
it, it was self-taught. Um, I think I probably learned the hard way because
Mm,
I didn't get a mentor then. Yeah, I think firstly I will advise everybody, please run and get yourself a mentor because he will save you a lot. It will save you a lot of time wasted in different things and direction. So it was self-taught. Picking a book. I had played with Python. I think about 2013 thereabout. I had played around with Python, but we didn't go past the syntax. You
wow.
understand? We didn't go past, yeah. So picking up Java, I started with Java. Picking up Java, just getting materials going on YouTube and the rest. So YouTube books, those were just my major source of learning or teaching myself. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. So we have reached the Rashid. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Finally, we could see your face. See your face. Yeah. So
All right.
quickly, can you
Thank
just
you.
introduce
Thank you
yourself?
so
Let's
much.
meet. Let's meet. I have a lot of questions for you already. I have a lot of questions for you already. but
All
let's
right.
just meet you before I dive into that.
All right. My name is Karim. I'm a backend software developer at Alabama Bank. I've been with the organization for well over 2 years now, and
Wow.
although I started off my career as a front-end engineer, full stack, so to speak, but over time I realized where my interest lied, and in the end, I resorted for where it seemed like I felt more relevant. And well, yeah, that's me in a brief, in a summary.
Wow, awesome, awesome. So, but what does it feel like to be a tech bro? How is it like? Is it is it like the way people always, how people always, hype? Is it what they hype? How is it like? Let me just hear from you.
Well, in my opinion, I feel like yes, it is indeed what they hype because I mean, if you're capable of doing things that not too many people can do, right? I mean, if you put it out to people, they feel like you're doing something extraordinary. They feel like you're doing something. How do they even come by all of these things? How do you even get to understand a language that a computer understands, right? So yes, indeed, you feel like a superhero when you're able to, roll in that kind of industry, and you're able to understand what you're doing, and it looks alien to some other people. I mean, yes, it is indeed what they are. So yeah, there's some sense of ecstasy and superhero kind of feeling that comes with it. So I agree with anyone who says yes. The career is being hyped and all that.
Wow, awesome. So the first thing I wanted to even ask, because I'm going to be asking Mr. Wilson too, but when see when you on this your video call with the hairstyle. By the way, I love the. I've always been admiring anyone with that plate so I, but in Nigeria, where I'm currently, where I'm currently residing, you are a tech bro, and you have this kind of hairstyle on you. Is something else. So, but let me hear from you. What are like the misconceptions people have about tech bros? To even be playing here where I am right now. When we hear tech bros and with this kind of style you have, we feel, are you sure that he's a tech bro or he's doing something else? Is it? I don't want to mention the word black, but let me hear from you.
Okay. Well, yes. I get that a lot, and the stereotype. It's something we as maybe Nigerians. One thing we are very conversant with. It's a thing that happens every now and then, and we are in a very civilized world. It's a modern
Mm,
world, so we just have to learn to do away with that stereotype. I mean, not everybody who makes their hairs, or wears earrings of some sort, is involved in an illegal, career or something. Um, there are people out there who just it's just preference, it's just style, it's just how you like to look, and I believe that everybody else should have that freedom to, express themselves however way they choose to.
So,
So
but,
this
but
is
have you
just
had any
mine.
like have you had like any experience with such people? Cases where probably because of
Yeah.
your look.
Yes, quite a number of times. But I mean, I am able to defend myself. I am able to justify what I do. So I'm never really bothered. You come at me with
Wow.
such allegations, and I'm able to prove it to you that yes, I don't indulge myself in fraud. I do illegal, job.
Mm.
That's
So,
just it.
but let me ask Mr. Wilson. So, Mr. Wilson, I was saying, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I can.
Yeah. So, do you have like any experience of such too? Probably cases where your look, you also have a full hair. I don't. My hair is not. The length of my hair is not up to yours. So, but then, have you ever had like cases where people have to, doubt or take a second look at what you are doing? Are you actually a tech bro or doing something else?
Yeah, it's I believe it's a cultural thing, yeah. Um Definitely where I am now, such mindset doesn't exist, plus or
Mm,
minus. But I can say in Nigeria back then, yes, you face this stereotypes, and are people necessarily wrong for having these stereotypes? Again, it's a cultural thing. You create your ideas based on your surroundings, and the surroundings we are in Nigeria. We see that a high flux of people that have this kind of looks and the rest. You understand? So profiling is wrong, but
mm.
you again, if you know what you're doing and you know that, hey, I'm working legitimately, then no issues, no issues. I know my mom, maybe maybe if she ever listens to this, I will have a word because she'll be like, you're out there telling people to make their hair, yeah. But again, you just have to understand that it's the environment you are in, and
Mm.
some of these things will happen. I think that was one of my big fears back then in Nigeria. Yeah. I I was most times you are skeptical going out in interacting with security agencies and the rest. But again, it is they have to do their job, and their conclusions are based on the environment they live in. So it's a bittersweet fruit back then, and hopefully we get better with such stereotypes. Yeah.
So, but were there like any other misconceptions about being a tech
Yeah,
bro?
there are a few misconceptions, especially in terms of appearance. Let's say for my job now, back then in Nigeria, I needed 247 electricity. You understand? So someone will be like, "Who is this guy that is always in the house?" And lights every time, constant.
True.
You only see him once in a while. What is he doing? And the only time you
What
see
is
him
it doing?
with a laptop or something. What what is it?
God
What
will not
is
help you.
he doing
You will not be using Mac.
exactly? So these misconceptions were there sometimes. I think but I was really careful. You understand? Because my persona or my personality kind of help restricted these a little bit, because I'm more of a church boy. So if I'm leaving my house, is to go to church. You understand? So my personality kind of reduced this a lot, but I'm not ill informed of what my colleagues face. back in Nigeria and yeah, in some other societies. Yeah.
Awesome. I could remember when I also got started into in tech. For me, I think it was a change in my sleeping hours because I started working more at night
Yeah.
than the day and all. So my mom was even this happened to be like my mom was even the one that was like, what's going on? What are you doing exactly on this system that you don't sleep when others are sleeping? It is when everybody is not sleeping that you start sleeping. Are you sure you're not doing? You can tell me the truth, though. So I have to just explain to her. I didn't even know how to even explain it to her properly that this is the work I'm doing. This is not this is not me being. She knows that I can't be into further and all, but then
Yeah. She has to be sure. I think again, personally, let's say for me studying chemical engineering, the tech concept is kind of I think you're a bit frozen, Mayomide. Karim, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you vividly. I
Yeah,
think
I think
he has issues.
he's a bit he has a network issues, but we can just continue and hopefully fix that. Um,
Yeah.
at least for the tech space is a bit abstract, especially to the boomers, the generation before us. You understand? So I know my parents were not fully understanding the whole tech thingy until well, they got. I was fortunate to have understanding people. I was really fortunate to have understanding people. And yes, when it starts paying, nobody needs to. Yeah, when you start paying the bills, and I think the only time I had was when it was not paying the bills. But
Well, uh, yeah. I just feel
yeah,
like I had Ayobide before he left, saying his mom at some point was very skeptical about what he was
yeah,
really up to. I guess everybody, I don't know, I wouldn't want to make that kind of assumption for everyone, but
generalization. Yeah,
it's something that I sort of like resonate with as well because at some points very early in my career, I also had those questions popping up every now and
yeah,
then. Guy, what
for
are you
sure.
reading to?
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
took a while. Eventually, I had to rebel. I had to rebel at home because I had to resign from a job that I considered to be well paying to
exactly.
pursue a career that, at the early stages, I know I short of it yielding anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
at some point, I had to rebel. And when it started off, I used to stay up all night to study, to do things, always on your PC. I had literally no social life anymore at some point, and
yeah.
they were always wondering, what exactly are you? And it's something when they come up close to you to try to see what exactly it really is this guy is doing on this PC, and they look at your screen, they
They
don't
look at
understand
you
what's
and they will
going
not
on.
understand exactly.
So it leaves them in misery all of the time. They'd be
Yeah,
like, what really
yeah.
is it? Are you trying to act? Now they were not thinking it was perhaps this
Fraudulent or something.
big
Yes, yeah.
for thingy, but they were feeling okay, could it be some kind of hacking that you're into? They've always known that I was really tech savvy, but they were very concerned about what aspect of
Of the tech,
computer technology and
exactly,
you
exactly.
you were into it. So it took them coming to visit me unexpectedly at some point. Then they had me the meetings, all of the
Yeah,
calls, and it took them until that moment to really get convinced that yes, indeed, this person is not doing anything fraudulent whatsoever. So I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's a story that one to tell. Good to have
yeah.
you back, Ayonde.
Olumide, welcome
Sorry,
back.
my network. I just had like a glitch or something.
No,
I don't
no
even
issues,
understand.
man, no issues. And
But
by the way,
thank God I have Tech Boost as my rescue. Thank God I have Tech Boost as my rescue, and I can see that the conversation was already going on. Thank you so much.
yeah, yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you so
yeah.
much.
welcome. I actually, Kalim, you
So
work
I
at
don't.
the
Yeah, yes, yeah, currently I do.
Yeah, I think I worked at a lab previously. Before, yeah, I think
Oh, really?
um 21, 2021, 2022. Yeah, about yeah. Fun place, really, really fun place to be. How is everything now? How's everything right now?
Bro, it's I didn't quite pick where you said what department you said you worked with, but
Yeah,
I want to believe the experience.
yeah, it was fun with the bosses, with senior men and
Was it
every
the tech?
them. Yeah,
Did you work with them as an engineer as well?
yeah, as a mobile engineer, there's an Android engineer.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Within what years, or rather between
Um,
what
I
years?
think I was on contract with Wema Bank from 2021 to
Oh,
2022. So that was actually my previous place of work before this. Yeah, and
ah,
they made it home. Yeah, it was really home with bosses like Evie, David, and the rest.
ah,
You're chilled.
all right. No
You're chilled.
problem, no problem. We'll just better about that
Yeah,
after
we
this.
will definitely just later. We'll definitely just
Hi,
later.
hi, Tech Bros.
Welcome. Welcome.
So
All
I'll
right,
be stepping
well,
in for Ayo. So
Yeah.
moving on to the next question. As a tech bro, you've been working with tech sisters and stuff like that. So can you share experiences collaborating with female colleagues in the tech industry? Has it been comfortable for you? Are there any like situations whereby it's uncomfortable, or maybe there's just this discrepancy between both of you or something? Just share experiences with us. Okay,
Karim, you
Karim,
want
you can go first.
or I should take
okay.
yeah.
For me, I honestly don't think there is one because no one to be very sincere because where I work we have a culture of inclusiveness. Doesn't matter what gender you put yourself out there to be. We just want to ensure that everyone is welcome, everyone is recognized, and I have not had any problems personally with any female colleague. I
Yeah.
just feel that everyone is there to do their job, so why not allow them? And also, I am the guy who walks into the office and wants to greet everybody before commencing work, so I've not really had a problem with anyone, regardless of the
Yeah.
gender.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah.
Okay, Wilson.
Yeah, I think like there are literally no differences irrespective of whatsoever gender you are. And I believe it's even one of those jobs, one of those niche where it's really really inclusive, because right now in the tech space we there is a trend going right now with increasing the women in tech. So I think you would have heard the term women in tech, women in tech, women in tech over and over. And I've been fortunate to work in industries and companies where inclusivity is at the max. You understand? So as long as you know your stuff, that's the stuff. As long as you're good. Nobody cares what you identify as or whatever gender you say you are. As long as you're good. Write the code. We care about products and output here. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you feel cases whereby you get to see flyers, or okay, there's this free boot camp or free training for tech girls, girls that want to join tech, just girls, 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 and you're like, there's really nothing for the guys. What's happening? Like, Are there cases you've seen such a flyer? You're like, what's happening to the guys?
I think we stay in a space where, like I said earlier, the Women in Tech initiative is one that is currently ongoing. For us that have been working in the space more for a little bit longer, we understand the concept of, hey, we need this space to be as balanced, as inclusive as possible. So for me personally, I welcome all the concepts and all the initiatives that we have to include more women in this space. For the starters, I know I've had the conversation with a few folks starting will be like, are there any initiatives for guys? And I'm like, there are a lot. There are a lot of initiative for guys, and the Women in Tech initiative, yes, it's a bit pronounced, but it's not mutually exclusive. We have initiatives for women, and there are still a lot of initiatives for guys. And in the long run, I think it's the Women in Tech initiative is one that is highly embraced, and especially in the society we are coming from in Nigeria, it's one that is highly embraced, and we should advocate for as much as possible. Yeah.
Okay. Karim, this question is for you. So there is this kind of news we get outside where they say it looks like in tech space they favor women more than the men. Is this something that is true?
Okay. While I wouldn't want to say a generic answer that would apply everywhere, because obviously I've not been everywhere. So while I believe that yes, there might be such situations where people are favored, we are humans, and there is no way some sort of nepotism for whatever reason would kick in on some occasions. But to the best of my knowledge, where I've worked and the few places where I've worked, I have not experienced anything like that favoritism, right? It's always been a case of competence over anything else. It doesn't matter what gender it is, as long as you're qualified to do the job and you're not problematic, because it's not just about the technical skills now, right? You also have to be evaluated based on your soft skills as well. And if you pass all of this, if you check all of these boxes, I see no reason why anybody shouldn't hire you because you're a guy or because you're a woman, right? And then in some organizations where it seems like, okay, maybe they are selectively looking for a woman or for females. Now it takes somebody who is on the inside to know, okay, whether the organization is just sort of like trying to establish a balance in the number of male employees that they have, and female employees. So it is easy to misconcept on the outside than when you are on the inside. You really have a clearer picture of what is going on within the organization for holding out for maybe a female engineer to join their team. So I don't believe in all those postulations. I just believe that maybe there's a reason on the inside that people do not know on the outside. That's it.
Awesome. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I think
Okay,
I
okay.
would love to ask one question, and I think I want
Yeah,
to pass
yeah,
it to you saying,
yeah,
right? And it's for a reason. Okay, this is really outside the gist, but I think I would love to get the
yeah,
guy's opinion about it. Okay,
yeah,
cases whereby there are applicants for a job, and then to the final stage they have a guy and a girl, and they are both like good at what they do and all of that. A guy and a girl. What do you think the next criteria should be in selecting one? Should it be
Uh,
based on gender?
yeah. Firstly, on the topic of gender equality, it's a tricky one. You understand because yeah, there's a lot of history to that. I believe in a workspace, um, we should be blind towards gender. You understand? We should. I Equality means I come in, the both of us put in our efforts, and irrespective of who is behind that effort, we make a decision. There are sometimes I've been on the hiring team, and there are sometimes where we have had qualified candidates. Again, a lot of things go into this. We have a guy and a lady as a qualified candidate. They are, at the end of the day, even if there are two guys as the qualified candidates, we would have to make a decision on one if that is what we want to hire. You understand? So again, you should see the company's policy into including women in the space. We are not deluded to the fact that in some countries, and maybe even in Nigeria, the rights of women in the workspace from time past has been kind of have been marginalized, and we are taking active efforts in neutralizing this and creating this equality. You understand? We are not. Nobody is denying that fact. So, company policy. I don't want to outrightly say you go with this gender or not. No, depends on what HR wants. Depends on the quality company policy, and there must be a standard factor. I cannot say I will hire two of them because they are equally qualified, irrespective of the gender. The only competent I know, the last time we hired a lady, that was because on the Android team, we didn't have any lady. You understand? I've been part of an interview one time, and we had no lady on the Android team, and the company was looking to actively balance the these roles. You understand? In technicality, she was actually even better than the final among the final three candidates. You understand? So I wouldn't even want to say it is based on the gender, but yes, the company was looking to balance this out, but ultimately she was the best of the three final candidates. So we had to go with her. So a lot of there are no yes and no answers to this, you understand. But yes, we are actively working to include as much ladies in the tech space as we can. We are actively working to reduce it's like tech debt, reduce some of the marginalization that has happened and probably still happening in some countries and in some workplaces in Nigeria and other countries here.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, quick one. Let me ask Mr. Karim or Karim that
Yeah.
you're now in tech. You've been in tech for a very long time or for a while now, and this question is actually like, what was it like? Are there times where you feel, oh, I wish I had learned or I wish I had known this before entering tech? What was it like for you? Like, are there times where you feel, oh, I wish I had known this, and what was it?
Ah, okay. I think two things stand out for me, and because I'm thinking it from just my story now. And first of the two would be that I wish that I had started earlier, right? Because obviously, starting earlier than I did would mean that I would be in a different place than I currently am now. Obviously, because obviously that would mean more experience and more exposure, more network, and all of that. So that's one for me. And then second is having a better understanding of how rapidly things can change in the industry, and how endless learning is the solution to you know is the answer to staying relevant in the industry that continues to dynamically change, right? I had to figure out all of these things on my own, painstakingly and painfully at the end of the day. So, I mean, if somebody had given me some sort of heads up, you know, way earlier, way sooner, I probably would have found things much more easier. So, yeah, these two things. Okay, I think Ayomide is frozen again. Maybe Wilson, maybe you can also answer the same question if you don't mind. You're currently muted, though.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, firstly, I would advise people to go watch the talk I gave earlier with them, the beginner's guide to tech. I think for me, a few things, even till now, being self-taught, there are a few things I sometimes I wish I had spent more time on, especially the fundamentals. Like, and I tell anybody I'm mentoring right now, hey, perfect your design patterns, perfect your data structures and algorithm, perfect understanding not just the code is working, building efficient systems, you
Mhm.
understand? And um till now there are a few things which you face some problems and you're like, or you work with excellent engineers, which I have the opportunity to do, and I'm like, okay, I wish I had done this earlier and the rest. Well, again, we are lucky because the space we're in, you can always learn. Even if you didn't do this at that time, you can always go back to the basics and pick clear. Nobody's stopping you. I think that's a good thing about the space, the constant learning. Yeah. Yeah, Nkechi or Amola.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I would want both of you to answer this. This is relating to salary. So, what was your first pay in tech?
Wilson, you want to go first?
Understand? I just asked the question and everybody's laughing. So I need to get
Uh,
it
uh,
like
ah,
a
Abeg.
can,
charity organization thing. No, I don't get.
can I say when I started, I was doing the Lord's work. Yeah. So there was not. I think I started initially unpaid. Yeah,
On what?
unpaid, no pay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Unpaid.
just yeah, unpaid. Just but I think I had fast growth. I would not lie. I had really, really fast growth. Monetarily, I think the first after a period unpaid, the first should be like 50K or something, which was which was big, which was really big. But yeah, we have grown. We have grown. Yeah.
Okay, Karim.
Well, for me, I think we sort of like share the same story because I started up on zero naira as well. I mean, with beg, self, with our beg, just give me the rule because all the man was looking out for was, just to garner experience as much as possible and
Yeah.
also be
Exactly.
a participant in the tech industry. I also want to be able to say, yes, me said they do tech now, but it started off very roughly with zero naira, and soon afterwards, I bagged an internship opportunity. That too, the company was literally not looking, but I just reached out to the owner of the organization, and okay, I just wanted an opportunity, a place where I can exhibit my talents, express myself, things that I know and put them to practice. I just want to help you to push your organization. At this point, I was not even, soliciting for payments. So because where I initially started off wasn't, their mode of operation wasn't really what I had anticipated. So I wanted a bigger place where yes, I could work and I could, let's see, work with people that I would learn off, right? So I reached out, and surprisingly, the man decided to offer me 50K. And I was like, okay, right. So my second also was 50K, and then from there things just got better. So yes, started off on 0 naira, moved on to 50K, and
And from
the
there,
rest is
it's now
history.
like we are in millions right now. Okay. Okay.
That you talk down.
Okay, so were you always certain that tech was like the career for you when you wanted to like start tech? Like, were you always certain that a career in tech was like the right path for you? Or you just felt, okay, let me just try it. Let me see if it's something I can do.
Okay, so for me, it was a do or die affair, really, because I had to resign from, like I mentioned earlier. I don't know if you read that, Omola. I had to resign from a job that my family considered well paying enough in an average, Nigerian graduates, context. So, resigning from that to now pursue what they considered uh, a tunnel of no end. It was crazy, but for me, I knew it was a do or die. If I don't make it out of this thing, then it don't finish for me with that, because who will I go back to? Me that okay, well, I am back after wasting years, and I'm back. I'm looking for a job. So it was a do or die affair for me. I just knew that I needed to make it work however way possible. And God bless me, I was privileged to meet. I worked briefly at Workstation here in Maryland, so I had a bandwagon of techies there that I was meeting with every day. So I had enough abundant motivation to say, guy, you have to keep going. These guys are really making it big, so you can always make it out of here. So I've always had that conviction, right? I've always had the conviction that yes, this journey is a fruitful one. You just have to endure the pain and whatever comes along the way. In the end, it's going to be a success story.
Okay. Wilson. So for you, Karim, that means the do or die I feel was just because people were making it big in the industry. So that was the
Yeah,
motivation.
um,
You just have to die there.
yeah, guy. I mean, if I don't do that, what will I be doing in my life now?
Okay. Wilson.
Okay, I think our stories are similar. We know we know the economic situation of where we're coming from, and
Okay.
boy, I had to make it. It's not. I'm not coming from wealth or anything. So I looked around and well, we must make this thing. Oh. I think, but I think one thing that was key was maybe the love I had for it, and I think also with something abstract. Then I had my mom even telling me once upon a time that see don't keep applying for other things, and if this one no work, hopefully there will be something here. But I know there was a time I had to make the decision that hey, um, I'm going with this. I'm focusing everything I have on this stuff. I love it. I know it's not going to be the easiest. I know right now we know they pay, but I don't want to be distracted. And I think that focus helped me a lot in my career because I go and I grow fast. Yeah, with that focus. Yeah.
Okay. So both of you are saying when you started tech, there was really no love for tech. You grew the love while you were in tech.
I had the love before coming in. Yeah. So it was the love that made me go and look for where I will work without anybody paying me.
Was it
Yeah.
love for the career or the love because you just have to make it?
No,
Because of the potential.
the potential first, and like I said earlier, there's a feeling you have when you write a few lines of code, especially as a front end or an Android engineer per se. There's as an Android engineer, yeah. There's a feeling where you have when I write this code and click a button, and it does what I say it should do. You understand? So I was sold at that point. So I had to follow my passion and gradually pray that this passion start yielding fruits financially. Yeah.
Okay, but I think you still not answer the question. When you wanted to start tech, there was really no love for tech, basically. Or was there a love for tech before you started tech? Because I want to understand that, okay, joining tech or starting tech would be like an information you heard about tech. And then I'm not sure you really ventured into it to even know if that's what you really want to do. So is it that you loved tech before you entered, or you started loving tech while you started? I think
Um,
the reason why I'm asking is just to give clarity to people that are just starting. You know, most times for persons that are just like, okay, I'm just doing this. I really don't know if this is really what I want to do, because they are not entering compared to when we learn careers like in school, secondary school, entry university. They know I want to be a banker, and they start learning courses related to banker.
okay.
From secondary school, there is this love already. I want to wear suits. I want to do this. I want to do that. But this is relating to tech now. You just heard information and you just started. So was it that there was a love for it before, or it was when you started, you now started developing that love for tech? Wilson, Karim, anyone can
Um,
go for it.
okay, so for me, let me drive everybody through my journey. Um, where I used to live as a kid, I was recognized as that one boy who never used to see mobile phones. Once I laid my hands on your mobile gadgets, what's it love? There was a night when I stole my own dad's phone and I locked myself up in the restroom, all because I just had full access to mobile phone and I could just do literally everything that I wanted to explore on it. And I ended up sleeping up in the restroom, only to get woken up in the morning with the phone. The intention was to steal the phone over the night, use it briefly, and then return it back to my dad's table before he wakes up. But I ended up sleeping up there and I ended up getting caught with that phone right there in the bathroom, laying there on the floor. So I was always known for that. And it became very useful to the point where when people had issues with their phone, they want to do some kind of settings on their phone and they don't even know how. They come running around for that boy that knows so much about mobile phones and stuff. And I was lucky enough; I could always, figure things out. Surprisingly, even though I had never seen that particular mobile device before, that version or model, I would always, fix their issues. So, gradually that grew on, and it got to a point where I was very curious. When I became an adult now, I was always wondering, okay, so how do these people do these things? Like I used to hear computer, and the as at that moment, all I knew about computer was okay, you typing on Microsoft Word, you're using Microsoft Excel, you're doing Corel Draw, Photoshop, and the likes. Until I figured, okay, there was something called computer engineering, and my curiosity grew even bigger. I wanted to know, okay, how do these things work? How am I able to do all of these things? How do people go about this? And so, yes, for me, it was primarily the curiosity. It was always there. The fondness for gadgets was always there. You know, if you're like me, you loved video games all the way from childhood down to adulthood. You played Mario, Sega, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and you know, you already have a fondness for tech. You just need to now take it a step further. And in my case, that was just it. I always had that fondness for tech, and I just wanted to make a career out of that relationship.
Okay, quick one before Wilson answer that question. For you, Karim, did you
All
study
right.
anything related to computer science?
Absolutely not. I studied math for the record. I studied math in school. Although at some points we were made to borrow course. Nigeria, you're always borrowing courses up and down. So we borrowed computer course at that time, and they told us to program calculator. I made 40 out of that course with I beg and with please help me. So, we were always collaborating with the computer science guys, and guys, I beg, I don't know what this is, so I don't even know how do I program computer to work and do calculator. So with several help and stuff, we shall pass the course because it was not needed after that time. So I wouldn't say I studied computer science, but I only studied math. It was after school, after NYSC, that all of this journey really began for me.
Okay. So Wilson, now is it that the love part you loved tech before you joined, or you started loving it while you joined?
I think we share similar story in terms of love of being tech savvy, even from childhood. You understand? So I actually didn't start with the idea of making something out of this. You understand? I didn't start programming with that idea yet. Um, but I know I took it up a notch when so I was already in love with tech. I was already writing a lot of distracted code here and here, looking for things, learning how things work. I'd already had the passion for this, but I took it up a notch immediately leaving about the time I was leaving college or towards the end of college, that hey, okay, let me follow this path. But by then I was already in it. I already had the love for it. um but again, when you are required to now say, hey, this is the path I want to earn a living from, there there are two different things. Then, so some people, I understand the reason for the question, because some people come in and they're looking at the career as a whole before, which is understandable. You understand, because as humans we have to make the best decisions and align things. What's the prospect in this field? What's the prospect in tech? You understand? But I think for my own kids, I was fortunate to have that curiosity, started learning on my own before I ever thought I could have a career in this space. Yeah. But it got real when I made that decision and when I saw that, hey, do or die. So spend time nights constantly just what are the roadmaps? What do I need to learn now to be a professional Android engineer? And I started fully into that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. So, in essence, you're saying most times people don't really need to love it before they just start, and alongside, if they see it's a passion for them, they can go ahead, right? Is that
I,
it?
I advise you have, for me personally, I advise you have the passion for it. Yeah, understand? Because when they go and get stuff, it's your passion that will drive you.
That would drive you.
You're not. We have a mirage in Nigeria, or in not in Nigeria. I don't want to say Nigeria. We have a mirage where about the tech space where it's make money quick. You understand? It's make money quick. Yes, compared to other professional fields where you need to go to school for 5 years, do this. Tech is one of the spaces where we are more concerned about knowing if you know what you have than any certification you have. You understand? But people always come in with that idea. But have love tech, please love what you're doing, because you will face some bugs that you will be on for a week.
It's only
It's
love that can scale through.
only
That
love
one.
for what you are doing that will push you through, especially as a beginner. That's why we
Okay.
have a lot of people coming in after the first few period. They're like, this thing is harder than they say, and after learning syntax, they run away. So
Okay.
our advice, you come in if you love it. I'm not saying if you don't have the passion, it's not going to work for you. You understand? Money can be money. I heard someone say once upon, why do I join tech? Because I love what I'm doing, and I love to be paid well. So money can also drive your passion, but please love what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Karim, if you had the opportunity to rewind back the years, would you really want to go to school? If yes, would it be studying computer science, or you really don't want to go to school and you just start your boot camp and just start tech?
Uh, I'm not sure I heard you correctly. If what you're asking is if I would rather go to school to study computer science or start
If you would go to school
Wilson,
first,
I don't know if
that,
that's what she asked.
can you hear
Yeah.
me?
So,
Okay.
so basically, she asked if.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I said if we like rewind the years back first, one, would you want to go to school?
Mm-hmm.
That's university. That's the first one. And if yes, would you want to study computer science? So if you don't want to go to school, would you just want to go to a boot camp, learn this tech career, and just start your tech career?
Um. Okay. So I don't know. I think it has to we have to give consideration to environments where you are, if it is well worth it. Um, well, like everyone can see, I didn't have to go to school to study computer science, and here I am today. I'm a software engineer, and I am, at least I am doing my job. Right, the fact that I have not been sacked from it means I am, doing enough to keep the job. So that's just testament to the fact that you can actually do it without necessarily having to, own a computer science certificate or so, a degree or something. And that's not to say that going to school to study computer science would have, left you at a disadvantage, right? I don't know what it is in Nigeria where what they really teach in computer science classes and all of that. So I can't really say. But say maybe if you're learning computer science with a with a foreign institution, you are guaranteed to learn, the fundamentals of computer, what goes on, what makes the computer what it is, and all of that. Then, of course, at every chance, if you get the opportunity, jump at it, bag your degree, take your certificates. Is going to, push your career definitely. And also, aside from, pushing your career, it's going to widen your knowledge of the computer, because when you have the knowledge of what goes on behind the scenes, what really, makes the computer operate the way it does, I mean, it makes you do things more efficiently, as opposed to, you're just hitting the computer and just writing code. So, my short answer would be yes, if I am assured that the computer science that I'm learning, the organization, or rather the institution that I am learning with, is going to, teach the fundamentals of, computer science and everything, then yes, I would take that before kickstarting my career in tech, because boot camps will, I'm not shutting out boot camps completely, but um, the average Nigerian boot camp just want to, they're after your money, right? They want to get a piece of money from you, and they will only be able to scratch the surface. At the end of the day, you will still have to, much of the learning is still on you. And that's where you have to own your skill, you have to own your learning, you have to own this, right? They will teach you the basics, they will teach you all of those things to get you started. But the necessary skills, the necessary details that you need to keep your job, to thrive in your career, you need to learn on your own. So if you can go to school, learn these fundamentals about computer and everything, you should be off to a great start, really. That's my sentiment.
Okay, thank you. Wilson, this next question is for you. Have you ever experienced burnout in your tech journey? Um, Starting from when you started learning tech, have you ever experienced like a burnout, and how did you overcome? Um, how did you overcome it?
Yeah, burnout is It happens all the time. I have experienced situations like that. Um, Firstly, I think the time I was learning, I think the earliest was the time I made the decision to fully focus on this. I was studying the entire day. Yeah, the entire day. I was literally studying the entire day. And there were times where you say, "Oh, mom, my head, my brain, no, the brain again." No, you get. And I would always advise a good balance. I think I learned earlier on that I'm working with my brain, so my brain needs to be as healthy as possible. So I picked up exercises, go play football, come back. I discovered a consistent pattern with after that rush of blood pumping in. I wrote code better, and I work at night, so I wrote code better. So whenever I have burnout, I try to, and even where I am now in Zalando, there have been some times where I'm like, okay, this is becoming too much, and I take a vacation. You understand? So I always try to, and the culture here really embrace that. If you're mentally stressed out, please take a step back. If you are, yeah. So I take a vacation, go out for some sports, and so far there have been that balance. And for people just starting, I tell them get a community, because not just a community that you coach together, a community where you plan extracurricular activities, where you meet out, talk together. Yeah, so that worked for me, and hopefully work for other guys.
Okay, I want to ask this question, and I think I want both of you to answer it. Over 1 to 100, what's the percentage of friend that you have that is not taking?
I have a lot of non-tech. It's a difficult question to answer, because I believe as you progress in life, your friendship circles, they change. You understand? So it doesn't mean the friends before are no longer your friends. You understand? But you get to meet more people in terms of recency. I have a lot of non-technical friends. I have a lot. Let's say 40, 30% of my, or 40% of the guys. Right now, I've gotten to the stage where almost half of them are tech based. You understand? Attending boot camps, attending conference, giving talks like this increases the number of friends you have. You understand? But 35 or 40% are really tech inclined. Yeah, and the others in terms of communication right now, let's say 30, 30, 70. Yeah, 30 or 35, 65. That should be a fair assessment.
Karin?
For me, I think I would say 20% techies and 80% non-techies. And here is why. Because my journey in tech has only started recently, right? It hasn't been as much as I have, lived life being a non-technical person. So all of the friends I made before I started my career in tech, they still remain my friend, of course. And obviously, then I had more of them than now when my social life is, my social life reduced drastically compared to how it used to be then. So yes, I have lesser number of people that that are my friends that are, technical, than I do the non-technical ones. So yes, 80-20% for me.
Okay, yeah, I think this social life is like the next question. So thank you for bringing it out. So for you, Wilson, how has social life been so far compared to when you were not in tech and now that you are in tech? Has anything really changed?
I don't really think tech is because my social life outside Nigeria has really, really reduced. You understand? So it really didn't. It actually increased more when I was in the tech space, back in Nigeria. Yeah, back in Nigeria, because I had a great community of guys who could say, "Oh, yeah, no, they go ball out. Let's head out." You understand? So, and I was not
That's the
really
guy's
the,
vibe.
yeah, I was not. I'm not really the outgoing kind of person. So I needed someone that needs this extra incentive for my guys for us to go out. You understand? So I think it increased while I became a techie. Um, but in this context, that is just in Nigeria. I think it's a different story here in Berlin. I think it will be same whether I'm a techie or not, because here you have to be really intentional. I cannot be as lackadaisical as I was about my social life in Nigeria. Here you have to be intentional and drive your social life. So I feel for me here it will be the same as a techie or not. I can't really say, but in Nigeria I think my tech bros they the ball. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, before Karim answers, I think the reason I'm asking this question is when you are learning tech, there is this thing of all your time is for tech. When you start learning tech, like I don't know for how the tech guys roll, but I know it's this thing of your 24 hours is not even enough to learn tech. So were there times you had to like remove from your 24 hours while you were learning to just still do your social thing? Or you just gave that learning period, it was like it's tech or no tech? Because I've heard of this gist from
Yeah.
guys that period
Yeah.
I don't even have any pay, I don't do anything, I want to focus, it's like a career thing. So I really want to get that. Is it when you now start like making money from tech, that's when you start balancing your social life, or while you started learning tech you already balanced your social life?
Yeah, I think in the learning phase, I was indoors. I was almost invisible. Yeah, I was indoors a lot, on my laptop most of the time. Sometimes looking track, because losing track of days. You understand? But one of the big things that helped was coming to Lagos. One, because I was not based in Lagos initially, and meeting guys. So the higher you go, the and yeah, meeting guys, and that comes when you are now working professionally. You understand? You now meet guys, you now attend conference, you meet people, you make friends. You understand? And my social activities are one that I had honed from the initial. So I go out for sports. I rarely go out for night outings. So there are ones that with or without tech would be in existence. I will go out to play football. I will go out on weekends to play volleyball. I played lawn tennis almost every day. Yes, so these are activities that, yeah, but in the learning phase, I was like a bear in hibernation. You could not find me outside at all. You could not find me outside.
Karim?
Um, I think I share a bit of Wilson's story during the learning phase. I don't know if it's a thing for everyone, but during that learning phase, it's always so difficult that you just don't want to. You just can't afford to start sharing your attention and time with some other things. You just want to be fully dedicated. And if you're giving it a do or die mentality like we both did, I mean, you're having to put so many other things at risk, at jeopardy if you're having to, share your attention. So for me, during learning phase, it was tech or nothing, right? I was always on my PC 247. And like you said, it was almost like we needed to borrow extra sheets like that exam hall thing. Yeah, I need extra booklets. So it was almost like you always needed extra 24 hours to add to what you had, to catch up on what you needed to do. And post learning, well, there is never an ending to learning. It's a continuous journey, right? But right now, perhaps you don't know this, but I've always been introverted, really, or at least I would say the modern day Lagos made it so because you know. So the things I often do for fun, they are usually behind closed doors. Play video games, play music, and vibe. You always find me anytime I'm working to not easily get bored and all that. I'm always playing some music in the background and just nodding my head while I write my code. All of these things I achieve indoors because the thought of going out there in Lagos traffic, heat and all of those things, I really can't withstand. You're muted. You're muted. I didn't hear you.
Oh yes. I said you just change your mind. Like, let me just take out.
Honestly, because okay, you want to go out, you want to spend maybe just the next 2 hours outside, and to get to
In,
that your destination, you have
in
already spent the
Lagos,
2 hours.
you are giving in Lagos, you are giving time.
Yeah, so you get before you
It's
even get
Lagos
to your
that we give
destination,
you
you
time.
already
It's
spent
Lagos
the
that we
two
give you
hours,
time.
right? So it's so crazy, and coupled with the rising insecurity and everything,
True.
it's just safe. You just want to stay in your comfort zone and just enjoy yourself to the maximum as much as you can do. Only once in a very blue, only once in like a very long time do I, myself and a friend, we hang out, or myself and a league of friends just go out, have some fun. But it's not a regular thing. I usually just do my thing at home, play games, watch movies, play music, play games with friends. I mean, you don't technology, all thanks to technology, you don't even always have to be physically present at your friend's place or have your friends over before you guys can banter each other over video games. You can play, I can be here, you can be at your house, and they will play video games and we banter each other. So I mean, I've not really been an outdoor person like that, so I don't really miss it. I wouldn't say anything changed for it.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome. I've been enjoying the conversation so far, Seth. Even right from the backstage, even though my network have decided to show me shake yesterday. But then, yeah, awesome conversation. But I think we will have to start wrapping up. But I have a question. What was it like? Are there any time where you faced any challenges, your tech paths, and how were you able to, overcome any of it? Can you share?
Sorry, I think I would also want to add to this question. Cases whereby, and I want to be specific, cases whereby you literally cried as a tech bro. Like,
Ah,
it's so painful that you had to cry as a tech bro when it
cry.
comes to this career part. Yes, I think
Tech
I
bros,
don't
did
get
you
it.
cry? Did we
Bro,
cry?
don't cry. Bro, don't
Bro, I
cry.
No,
cried.
I'm
See,
just asking.
What do you mean, bro? Do you cry? I
Let's hear
cried,
from
bro.
them.
I cried. Look, mine was settling in, right? After the whole bootcamp thingy, and I was still writing JavaScript all those time. And before I started joining the bootcamp, before I started working, I had already started learning JavaScript, HTML, and stuff on my own. So getting those jobs, entry level roles and stuff, they were not all that tedious for me. But until I decided I wanted to fully transition into backend and I needed to, pick a new programming language in C sharp precisely. So I underwent training for was it 2 to 3 months, and afterwards we were, made to do a final project, do presentation, and it was all smooth and rosy until after the training. So it was like an academy. After the academy phase, then we were pushed to the field to go and do actual job. And then, bro, I saw the main code base, the legacy code base that we would be building upon, and hey, Baba. Okay, we're given like 2 weeks to study an entire code base. God. And I was seeing things that were not familiar to me. Now I was supposed to have a mentor that would, guide me through, okay, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. But unfortunately, the people that gave me mentor to guide me were also sharing my mentor's attention with me. He literally had no time for me, and it was complete remote for him. God of mercy. 1 month down the line, I was given a project to do, and as at that time, I was not even, I had not even settled in properly. I had not even, I didn't have a proper understanding of, what should happen and stuff. I kid you not when I said I was on the verge of resigning because I was completely blown away. I started to have distrust in myself. I started to lack confidence because I felt like, how would I do this thing? I don't want to break things. I don't want to, do things that would mar my reputation that I have built as senior tech in my neighborhood. Senior tech bro. So it was really hard. So many times I would be in my house and I would be crying because I just needed somebody that I can call at that time and say, okay, bros, what is this part doing? What are we supposed to do on this part? It's a lot of microservices, it's a lot of things. And all those times I didn't even understand what microservices were. I didn't know how they related, how they worked together. I didn't know so many things. All I knew before joining that company was just the monolithic approach, nothing about microservices. So it was really crazy for me. It was a lot. But um, thank God for a mentor that I had outside of that organization. That one was the one who kept, although it was a different programming language that he was also a JavaScript person, so he didn't really know so much about C Sharp, but he was just telling me that, okay, you don't have to beat yourself too hard about all of these things. That it's still the same concept, blah 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 blah, and it's always tough for everybody, but over time you get to understand things and you get familiar with all these concepts and stuff. And that just felt like the trigger, the light bulb that I needed. And gradually I just kept building on that confidence again, and I kept looking and giving myself time. Whenever I was frustrated, I was just, well, you can't kill me. I'll just close my laptop and wait. Anytime I'm able to reach somebody to guide me through, I just make myself available, call them, okay, this is it. And then they explain things out to me. And, it became fun after that time. But settling in, I was on the verge of really resigning. I wanted to completely do like this to tech. Come up, let's just let everybody just go their way. Well, we thank God, man.
Wow, that was a wow moment because I can't. Man, for you to say that you get to a point where you felt like crying, I think I have an experience like that. Mine is actually one of my design projects. After spending hours in doing, it was a social media design I was creating. Then I had to do what's this called, carousels, and it was time for me to deliver to the client, and I think Photoshop just crashed, and I had to. I don't even know what to do. I think I first had to just sit down. I was just like this. I was confused. I didn't know where to start from. How am I going to tell the client that, oh, just give me some mail, because I actually had to shift the delivery dates to that point. And man, it was a state. It's a state that I don't pray for. I don't wish for anybody, even my enemy. I don't wish for them to be there. But let me hear from Mr. Wilson. Let's hear from you, Wilson.
Yeah, I think we've all been there. Yeah, numerous times, a lot of times. Yeah, we've all been there. I think let me just share the earliest or the earlier times. I remember when I was trying to learn dependency injection Dagger 2. It did not enter. It did not. I remember when then Dagger. I thank God for and there was nobody around to help. So I Then I was still starting up and I was trying to pick up Dagger too. I think even up till now, it's still created. You know when you see something you are scared of. I work with Dagger too a lot now, but you still have PTSD of the days where and it went for weeks because I could not, I didn't have anybody to reach out to when I was learning. I was literally learning on my own from materials in my room. No Android engineer, nobody to reach out to. And I watched materials, I watched video, and this thing was not entering. The whole concept was confusing. I will wake up some days and I'm like, oh God, help me, God I beg, God I beg. Yeah, but thank God for growth. And it still happens. There are sometimes that I think that's the beauty and the cost of our space because no two problems are alike. Um, as a designer, you are used to Figma, you are used to your designing tools, you understand. But for every project you build, even if you already know how to do these things, there are differences in how to accomplish this, which will make you to think. And sometimes you would have the stress of how do I do this, but over time it gets easier. You face some of those. I now faced some of those recently, which, well, we move. We learn, we move. Yeah.
Okay, so well, I think you are still being. Are there cases whereby you literally cried? Like, I want to hear
I
if there
cried
are.
for Dada too. I, I, like it was bad that I had to abandon it and then come back. I see when you spend sleep, no, 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 no. I
Okay, so
leave
in essence, you're saying taking a break most times help.
it helped. Um, it helps sometimes, not in every time. You
Okay.
can take a break and come back and still meet your problem where you left it. Yeah, but most times, I think for
Is the
this scenario,
problem.
he did not. Because I discovered I needed to understand my design patterns more, understand my creational factory patterns and more. And going to learn those things to come back to pick up this again. I was like, oh, this is not as hard. It is difficult, but it was a bit easier going back. So sometimes some of these situations comes from a tech debt. And I always tell people the more often you see yourself in situations where you are like, I know sabi waiting to do, I don't know what to do. It means you are currently paying on some tech debts you have before. So you should go back and pick on those stuffs. You understand? So if you are constantly finding yourself in this situation, then you should know that either you are answering senior when you are not supposed to be senior, or there are things you brushed over that are now catching up with you, which for your sake and the future, you should go back to learn them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
One day
that
for the
thing.
team. I mean, every day
But
for the team, one day for the owner.
but really, right? I think cases like this comes with boot camps because when you are like personally for me, I learned JavaScript, but the basics, the foundation wasn't really, really, really like a foundation for us. So it's something you need to go back on, because and most times that's why I asked that part of is this something is it like the love you had before you entered tech or while you were in tech? Because all of this thing of JavaScript, I really don't know that JavaScript is actually JavaScript until I started JavaScript, right? And I didn't even know that there were some information that I do not know until I started working. And I saw that, oh, I think they did not teach us this part. Oh, I think I lack information or knowledge on this aspect, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So most times it's really fine, especially when you are done with boot camp, it's really good to go back, like
Yeah.
start again, because the mentor would only mentor you based on what he really knows. So if you really want to know more, there's this part of you going back. So we actually done for the tech gist with the tech bros.
Yeah.
Wilson, Karim, would you just give like advice to the junior ones coming, as they just have this. I think there's this self-confidence that gives techies when they call themselves tech bro. I don't know. But maybe there's this financial stability that just, I
Mm.
don't know. I don't even know what to say. But there's this confidence. I'm a tech bro. Like, I'm a tech bro. I
The
don't
pride
know.
that comes with it.
So can you just advise the junior tech bros? Most times the
No,
person that just
let's make it like their younger selves. Like
the
if
person
they're
that
to
just
advise your
started
younger
tech,
self, what would it
and they
be?
are just, I know a guy that is just starting tech and he's like, I'm already a tech bro. And I'm like, okay, everybody's a tech bro, right? But would you just advise the younger ones on, like my
Okay.
co-host said, your younger self?
All right. So my advice to my younger self would primarily be pay more attention to what people consider the basics. It's easy to get them wrong, and there is one common saying. They say, if the foundation is terrible, whatever you mount on it is going to end up chaotic, right? So fundamentals, as much as, or rather as little as they sound, as little as they seem, they are like the most important aspect of being your journey to being a tech bro. And of course there are prices to pay to be able to, before you can claim that tech bro tag. There are titles: sleepless nights, you've heard it, reduced social life. I mean, there's no way at the early stages. There's no way you can trade off these things. You will not trade off these things, right, to actually attain what you are desirous of. All right, so you need to learn that when that starts happening, don't see it as, okay, maybe I have a problem, maybe I am depressed. No, you're not depressed. You're only committing yourself to a venture that you decide to, do. And then there will always be bad days. It's not always rosy. You see tech bros smiling and giggling and looking all nice out there, blah blah blah. Nah, it's not always like that. There are days where they are almost, smashing their system and being like, nah, I'm giving it all up today. I don't want to continue this bullshit anymore. So there are terrible days like that, but like Wilson earlier suggested, sometimes all you need is just that system, that bug that is giving you problem. Just shut your system and go away from it for like 30 minutes. Go unwind. And then when you come back, it just seems like you came back with a magical wand, and the same bug that you have been fixing for, like, battling for like 10 hours, 5 hours. You just look at it and be like, look at this problem sitting right here all along and I didn't notice it. So sometimes don't pester yourself too much when when you encounter that kind of issue. You just need to take a step back and retrace your steps, and you'll be good. Then also the place of network, in terms of looking for job nowadays, one major way, or one thing that has come out to be like the easiest way to get jobs nowadays is through referrals. So you want to take your network seriously, and by taking them seriously, I do not mean that, oh, you always have to go clubbing together with them all the time, go hanging out and all that. Just ensure that amidst your network, your relevance, you're always there. You're always, when there are issues, contribute your quota. Always be in the faces of people so that they know that, okay, yeah, this guy is there. And always sell yourself. Always sell yourself. Don't hide what you're doing. Let people know it's within your network that, yes, I am, a C# person, or I am a, .NET person, blah blah blah. So when an opportunity comes, they can always remember, okay, I think I have somebody who I can recommend and stuff. And you'll be marveled at how many people will remember you when you're not even there, when you are not even, saying anything. So your network is as well as important as your knowledge, your skill, the expertise that you have in your field. So that's that's what I would have recommended to my younger self starting off in this career. So, over to you, Wilson.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. I think when you were just speaking, I was just really thinking of of my younger self, and to all the tech bros, taxis, to those coming in. I would advise everyone, please learn your basics and learn them well. Like really, really, really learn them well. Um, this differs in your time's field of work, but architecture, design patterns, algorithms, yeah, some of these things are learn them and learn them well. Secondly, get yourself a mentor. He will he or she will shave off the wasted time from you. You understand? If I had a mentor, I should have achieved my goal faster, and I noticed speed the moment I got a mentor. You understand? Or I got mentorship. So everything began to go fast. Yeah. So get yourself a mentor. You can reach out. Not to not too many people are mentoring, but you can reach out and I will look for people that can mentor you in your field. Yeah, but again, I would advise my younger self, be relaxed. Don't put too much pressure on yourself for because it's not a get rich, it's not a Ponzi scheme. So, because if you put that pressure that in 1 year you must do this, put time frames on yourself. Like put time frames. I always tell people again, create a roadmap with great time scales on yourself. But it is not a Ponzi scheme. It's not bring two people and get 1 million. No, you understand. Have the roadmap, have your time frames, but it's not a Ponzi scheme, and have fun. Have fun. It's not easy, but have fun. Get a community where you can support yourself. I think they say iron sharpened iron. So get a community where you can support yourself, build your network. I know how many people have gotten jobs from the fact that I met them somewhere. You understand? And I know how many jobs come my way, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm not looking for an opportunity right now. You get, because I have met these people, we have communicated, and they can speak for my expertise. You understand? So create that community, and the beautiful thing about tech space is we love to see each other grow in the tech space. You understand? So if you reach out and say, hello, Omolala, I need this. I'm just starting. I am 100% sure should will help you. You understand? And it's similar for almost everyone in the tech space. So yeah, hopefully this is enough advice for my younger self. Again, check. I think we did the beginner's guide to in the last two sessions, so you can also
Yeah.
watch that out on Tech with Elo, and I believe it will be very helpful for you. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Wilson and Karim. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And
Thank you.
yeah,
Our
it was actually an awesome conversation, and I enjoyed myself too. And I'm sure everyone else did too. And if you're watching
I
this,
think
I'm sure you're.
the major highlight is Tech Bros cry. I'm fine.
We all
So
do.
that's what.
Tech bros are humans now. What do you mean, Olola?
That's
We are
Calm
not
fine.
down.
chatting
Fine.
for sake.
I'll take you to the Tech Sisters Kingdom to share with them. Oh, Tech Bros cry. Oh.
we, we, we all do. We all do.
So thank
Ah,
you so much,
Thank you
Wilson.
so
Thank
much.
you, Karim.
yeah, and
Yeah.
thank
Nice
you.
seeing you. It's nice hearing from you and also gisting with you.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's really nice. It's really nice. There was a part that Karim was even saying that if you are depressed, probably need to take a break. And you know this thing that was trending. Are you sure you are depressed or you're hungry? Which one? Sometimes when you
Exactly.
use that,
Like
you think they are causing
Here's what
depression.
exactly is wrong
Never
with you and
jump,
Abu.
bro.
It's good.
Go and
The
eat
depression
first.
they worry in our mug.
Have you guys really experienced cases whereby you sleep and in your dream you are coding?
We are coding
Over
several
and over,
times.
yes.
Just wake up.
Several times.
Several times, yes. But again, eat
Tech
food.
is fun, actually. Tech is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, guys, we will need to take the guests down.
Thank you.
I co-host.
I host. Thank you so much for today, Jerry. Thank you for always coming through. You know, whenever there is. But it was really awesome. It was really awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So it's good to gist with the tech bros, right? It's an interesting one. So like the usual, we need to play some music and vibe to them before we end today's event.
Oh, yeah, no.
So
DJ Hero, let's do this.
okay. I think I'm not liking the vibe of.
You know, have a Afrobeat or something.
So guys, thank you so much for staying up until now. You actually just
Yeah.
tech bro, right? It's fun to hear from the tech bros themselves sharing out some of the things you really wouldn't get outside. You know, compared to texts that speak out and look at tech bros that want to man up. But I have good news for you. Tech bros
What's it good?
can cry. Tech bros cry. So if you're a tech bro, can cry. That's my highlight today. Really. So, but the essence is the fact that we heard from them, we really know how these things really work in the tech, especially the bloggers in the tech space. So most times, don't just hurt yourself. Best times you need to reach out to people for help. Go back to the basics like they have shared. When you have some issues, go back to the basics. And don't always feel bad. Whatever you're facing, people are actually passing through the situation, right? So just one of the phases you are passing through at the moment, you can also tell the story of how it was for you being successful as a tech. So it's good we actually have these people that are already doing so well in the tech space and tech blogger.
Yeah.
So we can actually learn from them and know how to do our business better. So thank you so much. I don't know if Ayomide has anything to say before we end today's
Nothing much, just like one of the words from Wilson is relax, have fun, you know, don't put pressure, too much pressure on yourself. That's it. Yeah, so just have fun.
So this is the end of today's event. Like we always do.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.